The most common question I get is how I even got started. Honestly, it's not something that could have been easily predicted from the beginning. I grew up in an apartment with just my mom. She worked in insurance, and I went to school. Since it was just the two of us, I naturally became quite fascinated with her. She wasn't conventionally attractive, but she was always home when I was. Puberty hit me pretty hard, and I didn't have any friends to talk about it with. I mostly picked up bits and pieces from overhearing conversations. We went to church often, which led to me gaining a reputation at school as a religious fanatic, not because of anything I did, but simply because the church itself had that kind of image. I was small, smart, and shy, which made me an easy target for bullying, but I wasn't the only one. Of course, when you're an adolescent, every little thing feels like the end of the world. I talked to Mom about it because we discussed everything. That was pretty much how the issue stayed for a while. I vented about it, but there wasn't much either of us could do. One Saturday night, just like any other, Mom and I were at home alone. She had a few glasses of wine. I remember it clearly. She was trying to polish her toenails but was making a mess of it. I was sitting next to her, watching TV and her struggle. She got frustrated and finally said, "This is impossible. Can you do it for me?" She handed me the polish, placed the remover in front of me, and put her foot in my lap. I was already used to helping her with little things, like zipping her up, so I didn't think anything of it. I carefully used the polish remover, took off the old polish, and started fresh. I took my time, as I always did, making sure it was done right. After a couple of toes, she asked me to grab her another glass of wine, and as I finished, she sipped it. It was easy for me at 12, with my great eyesight, and I enjoyed the time spent with her and our conversations. This became our little Saturday night routine. We even started picking out nail polish colors from the drugstore. I would do her nails, and she'd relax with her wine. It wasn't a big deal to me. The summer vacation had just started when one Saturday night, as we were doing our usual routine, she looked at me and said, "Why not polish your toenails the same color? It'll be fun." I was putting things away when I paused, a little surprised. "Mom, I can't polish my toenails." "Why not?" I hesitated, wondering if she had maybe had too much to drink. She'd only had about 4 glasses, which was normal. I decided she was probably sober enough, so I responded, "Because only girls do that." She laughed. "Not true. Some guys do it if they can get away with it. Wouldn't you like to be my sissy? It'll be our little secret, just between us. We can have a blast this summer." I wasn't sure how to react, but she seemed sincere enough, and that was the beginning of a new chapter in our little ritual. "I don't think so, Mom." She smiled. Her laughing and smiling just didn't happen that often. "Oh. Don't be a stick in the mud. We can go tomorrow and buy panties for you. Nobody will know." "Panties, Mom?" "Sure, pink ones, with ruffles. Or, I guess, red ones to match your toenails." She wiggled her toes for emphasis and kept smiling. "We can. Wear pink nail polish another time." "Mom, I can't do that." "Yes, you can. Let's do it. Come on, polish your toenails and we'll just try it tonight, and if we like it, decide what to do next tomorrow. Come on." I don't believe I'd ever seen her so playful, so I gave in. "Sort of. Tonight only, and if it isn't fun I can take it off tomorrow?" "Yep. But it's going to be fun, just wait." She reached over and stroked my head. So I did. I took off my tennis shoes and socks and polished my toenails. The same color as Mom's. We spent the rest of the evening sitting together on the couch, with our bare feet next to each other. I'll admit, I did like seeing it. Mom made sure our feet were next to each other, or Even entangled when she put her leg over mine, all evening, so every time I looked down, I saw her feet, with the same color polish. She even let me have a couple of swallows of wine. She really enjoyed herself, wiggling her toes, stroking my foot with hers and putting her foot right next to mine for easy comparison. In short, we had a great time. I carried my shoes and socks to my room and that night and fell asleep, thinking about my polished toes. The next morning I got up and dressed, and I noticed my toes as I put on my shoes and socks. To tell the truth, I thought Mom would have forgotten about it. Not so. She immediately said, "Oh, no, go put on your flip-flops so we can see our pretty toes." She lifted up her foot and showed hers to me. I paused trying to think of something to say. "Hurry, while I make the waffles. The bacon is already done." Breakfast was my favorite meal, and this was my favorite breakfast. I didn't argue, I just went to my room, removed my shoes and socks and put on my flip-flops and came back in the kitchen as the first waffle was coming out of the iron. She made me 2 waffles that morning, and we sat at the table with our feet almost touching. I couldn't take my eyes off them. "Let's go to Sears and get you some panties today, and maybe a couple of blouses and pairs of pedal pushers and a couple of training bras." "Mom? What? You have to agree, this is fun. Why not take it a step further? It'll be even more fun. It's Sunday, so there won't be many people around, and we can shop without worrying. We can pick up lipsticks, mascara, and everything else for summer, plus your clothes. Then we'll come back home, and I'll help you get all dolled up." She seemed excited about the idea, and while I thought it might be a bit embarrassing, it also seemed like it could be fun, something new, and no one else would know except for me and Mom. By the end of that Sunday, she had me dressed exactly how she wanted, with my hair styled differently and my fingernails polished. I looked very feminine, and she couldn't stop telling me how much fun she was having. I wasn't sure what to think, but since she was enjoying herself so much, I went along with it. To be honest, it was fun. That summer, I spent my days in a girl's wardrobe, wearing makeup every day. I didn't go out much, and when I did, we were careful. We shopped at a different A&P across town, and went to a Kmart 35 miles away so I could try on clothes without risking anyone seeing me. Mom had a blast. I may not have been as enthusiastic, but I certainly enjoyed myself. By the end of summer, our little dress-up game came to a stop. I told her straight up that I couldn't go to school wearing polished nails or panties because of pee and having to change in front of others. She agreed it might be a bit much. That school year, I still polished her toes, but I didn't do mine, except on days when we had off from school. 8th grade wasn't much better than 7th. I was still small, and an even larger percentage of boys were bigger than me. I still got picked on, but my grades didn't suffer. In fact, I ended up with the best grades in 8th grade out of over 400 students. That just made my tormentors worse. I complained to Mom a lot. After the start of that year, Mom opened her own agency, and we moved into an apartment behind her office, which put me in a different school zone. The next summer, Mom and I played dress-up again every day. I got my ears pierced and started to enjoy it more than I had the previous year when I mostly did it to humor Mom. But summer was winding down, and school was coming. I wasn't too excited about starting at a new public school, but Mom came up with a great idea. Since she'd be working from the front office and we'd be living in the back, she suggested homeschooling me while I helped out as her secretary. At the time, mobile phones were still new, and not as common as today. The one thing she insisted on was that I learn to modulate my voice so I sounded more feminine when answering the phone. I was doubtful it would work, but she got me a small tape recorder, and I began practicing. It turned out to be easier than I expected. With a lot of practice, I eventually had a pretty decent feminine voice. I started answering the phone as Gwen. For school, I first took a series of tests and ended up testing at a college freshman level. Then, I received various materials that I could complete at my own pace. Around this time, Mom made her first significant sale, so I ended up taking classes in her office while also answering the phone and taking messages. School went smoothly. I had to pass state progress tests, and we needed to demonstrate that my curriculum followed state guidelines, but that wasn't a problem. I had always been good at tests, and we bought a pre-packaged curriculum. Mom always made sure to close the office when she left, so my main role was answering the phone. This became our routine for a while, with more and more of my time spent in the office. I made good progress in school and continued dressing as I had in previous summers, feminine. I loved it, and life felt much better without the constant bullying. I looked forward to getting dressed up every day. The agency started thriving. Mom was fantastic at sales, but the administrative work was limiting her ability to focus on growing the business. One Saturday, she explained the situation to me. "Things are getting to the point where I really need a full-time secretary," she said, looking at me and smiling. "I have someone in mind." At that time, I was still wearing toenail polish and panties, and dressing like a high school tomboy. She smiled again. "I'm thinking of a sissy for the role." I was taken aback. "No, Mom, I can't." "Of course, you can. All we need to do is update your wardrobe, work on you walking in heels, get you some enhancements, and you can be the secretary. After a month or so, I'll be able to leave the office open, and you can run it just like a professional. You're smart, and you've been answering the phones from day one. I trust you to do the job, and it'll be a lot of fun for both of us. You'll be dressed up all the time, hair done, nails done, the whole deal. And imagine the fun you'll have, flirting with salesmen and customers, playing the perfect secretary." She had a smug smile on her face. "Mom, I can't get enhancements." "Why not? Women do it all the time. We'll get you a pair just like mine." She gestured to her own chest. "We'll update your wardrobe, and voila, the ultimate sissy secretary." "What if I don't like it?" "Plastic surgeons make it happen, and they can undo it too. But I don't think you'll mind. You'll love the new wardrobe, the new shoes, and the pampering at the salon. You'll love it all." She was still smiling. I looked at her and realized she was serious. I wasn't sure how to respond. "Come on, sissy. Do it for me. It'll be fun." "Mom, fake enhancements? That's a surgery." "So what? It'll seal the deal. We can dress you up sexy, and you'll have a blast teasing the boys. Trust me, Mother knows best." Mom, as she often did, kept pushing. The agency continued to grow. One day, just before my 18th birthday, she sat me down and explained that she really needed a full-time secretary and receptionist. The agency couldn't wait any longer for me to come on board. I must have looked stubborn, I still wasn't sure about an operation. She looked at me and said that I ought not to let a little operation block this opportunity. I was indignant. "Mom, I'm your son." She regarded me seriously. "To be correct, you are my offspring. When you acted like and were treated like my son all the time, you were unhappy most of the time. From the very moment you started polishing my toenails, we've both been happier and more successful. In fact, since you've been more flexible, gender-wise, you've been happy most of the time. I love seeing you happy and having fun, and I think you'll have more fun and be happier the prettier you are. Chest will help your clothes fit better. I can't see why you wouldn't do it, honestly, it isn't too big a change from now." I hesitated while I thought, and that was the end of my argument. Mom was a great salesperson. She knows how to close a deal. You'd look so cute with your new wardrobe and chest. You'd be very valuable to the agency. It would be worth our while to get you a company car, say a nice cute red Mustang convertible, to advertise our brand. Of course you'd have to dress really sexy, but I know you could pull it off. I was stunned. She was offering me a car to get my chest done? She could see the wheels turning. I actually thought about it. They were, as she said, only chest. How much further than polishing my toenails was that? Looking back, she was right about us both becoming better adjusted since we'd started. Maybe, all along in life, I just needed to be a girl, a girly girl. I felt an excitement rising and I was done. Mom got me a doctor's appointment and I answered all the questions to his satisfaction. And Mom and I decided on some B-cup implants, which went, if I do say so myself, rather well with my delicate build. After the pain of the operation wore off, Mom paid for a complete day at the spa, manicure, pedicure, skincare, makeup, better haircut, highlights in my hair, the works. I came out of there with a standing once-a-week appointment for maintenance and renewal. I never felt better in my life and I looked pretty cute. The asshole salesman at the Ford dealership hit on me constantly in between selling the car to Mom, but she just plowed on, acting oblivious to his attentions. The car was cute, with a great stereo and leather seats. It was fire engine red with a big engine. I loved that car and I looked great in it. Thanks for watching. If you liked this story, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Also, consider becoming a member for exclusive stories and early access.